Hi everyone, thank you for your kind comments and interaction on my last couple of Alice Cooper videos. They've been a lot of fun to make. Alice's music has meant so much to me over the years. I've had the chance to see him in concert a few times, as I'm pretty sure I've mentioned. We're going to get into a long period, 14 years. I wasn't sure how to break up everything from 83 onward. So I'm going to break it up into two sections. This one we're going to focus 1986 through 2000. There's a lot of good stuff here. Lucky and unlucky for me, I don't dislike any of these albums. There are no stinkers here. It's a ranking thing, so obviously I like some better than others, but I just want to say right from the outset that I don't dislike any of them. I'll actually put just about any of these on and be happy and listen to them. Gonna start with number 6, and this is the second of two albums that were sometimes referred to as Alice's slash and burn years. He came back really with a vengeance. He came back heavy, big sound, a lot bigger than he had. He'd been sober for a few years, and he was ferocious. He was writing really strong songs. The cover on this, from what I've read, has gotten so much flack over the years. It's kind of silly. But Raise Your Fist and Yell from 1987. It's the second album to feature Kip Winger on bass. If you remember the 80s band Winger, this sounds nothing like it. This is pure Alice Cooper. And he had a monster of a man, a bodybuilder named Kane Roberts on guitar. And he was very much these were Alice's metal albums. He came back doing really heavy metal. 80s at the time, not as heavy as Metallica, but certainly a lot heavier than the quote-unquote hair metal or glam metal that was going on at the time. So, Raise Your Fist and Yell, 1987. Freedom, Lock Me Up, Give the Radio Back, which I love. Step on You, which is heavy as an elephant. I love that song. Not That Kind of Love I Could Take or Leave. Prince of Darkness is really good. Time to Kill, Chop Chop Chop, a very weird song called Gale, and then Roses on White Lace. Again, these are every album I'm going to mention here. I like these a lot. I listened to them. I've had them on cassette tape and then CD for years. I don't have any of these on vinyl record. Just kind of how it is. It's hard to find some of them, and the ones you do are not necessarily in the best shape. Gonna jump ahead here to, and if you know Alice's chronology, you'll know what years these came out. Gonna jump ahead to 1991. So Alice did his heavy metal thing for a while, and then he got some mainstream help, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But he put out the second album he put out that was sort of mainstream, had outside writers. Desmond Child was still involved. Hey Stoopid, and this is the one that everybody knows. Wayne's World took the song Feed My Frankenstein from here, so it was originally on here first. So that's the big one. The title track is great, Hey Stoopid. It's a very good tale of morality. Love's a Loaded Gun, Snakebite, Burning Our Bed, Dangerous Tonight. I really like that one. Might as well be on Mars. The thing that started happening here, in the 90s, is artists felt the need to use up as much space as they could. So, out of 12 songs, 10 of them I'll keep. Feed My Frankenstein, Hurricane Years, Little by Little. I love that one. Die For You is one of Alice's favorites, from what I heard. Dirty Dreams and Wind Up Toy. So this one, it features, I'm going to have to, well, maybe I'm not going to open it all up, because it's one of those that, well, heck, we'll show you. There we are. It's a poster. You remember when CDs had those? So just right from the get-go, Slash was on here, Joe Satriani. I know Ozzy does some backing vocals on here. Geez, who else? I can't. I wish I had done my homework better. I'm really sorry. looks like he had some of the same studio musicians play throughout a lot of these. Anyway, Nikki Sixx is on bass here on one of them. So, you know, very much kind of in the hair metal vein, not as bad. You know, for Alice doing hair metal, it was definitely a lot better than a lot of what else was out at the time. So, anyway, number 5 out of 6, Hey Stoopid. I enjoy it quite a lot. Here's one I had the cassette tape of. This is the one that, if I never hear the song Poison again, I'll be happy. It's a fun song, it's fine, but it's so overdone. I can only be talking about the Trash album from '89. He had, let's see, Desmond Child, Joan Jett, some other outside writers on here, Richie Sambora, John Bon Jovi. You know, I'm going to keep this where it is for now, but it might actually, I might take Hey Stoopid above this one. So Poison, it opens, it's so overplayed, every show, come on. But Spark in the Dark, House of Fire, Why Trust You, interesting ballad on here, Only My Heart Talking, which I liked a lot more when I was younger. He and Steven Tyler duet on this. It's a good ballad, but, you know, Alice trying to keep up with Steven Tyler. Steven's got a bigger range, you know. It's more of an Aerosmith song, honestly, than an Alice Cooper song. Bed of Nails, love Bed of Nails. This Maniac's in Love with You. Trash, Hell is Living Without You. And the extremely humorous I'm Your Gun closes this out. So this is as close to hair metal and pop metal as Alice ever got. It's one of those things where, again, you take away Poison, and then if you were to reproduce it, maybe take away some of the excessive keys and put in a few more guitars, I think it would stand the test of time better. That said, I think it's his best-selling solo album. Not quite sure. Now we jump back to 1986 to the Slash and Burn years, the first of the two. And I remember, I'm surprised because the songs on here are really strong, and I remember seeing it in the discount cassette section at Meyer, and that's where I originally bought it. See if we can do it without a lot of the glare. Constrictor. I love this album. This is a lot of fun. Opens with Teenage Frankenstein, Give It Up, kind of a not so double entendre with Thrill My Gorilla, slower song Life and the Death of the Party, Simple Disobedience. Again, there's another crusher, absolute bone crusher. The World Needs Guts, really in your face, some great shredding on there from Kane Roberts. Trick Bag, Crawlin', the Great American Success Story is funny. And it closes with the theme from the motion picture Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. He's back, the man behind the mask, which Alice, thankfully, he still busts out a couple of these songs sometimes. And they're you know, world-changing, no, but you talk about roaring back with a vengeance, sober, ready to kick butt and take names. This was it, Alice. I thoroughly enjoy that CD a lot. Now we get to the top 2, and I had a hard time picking because I really like both of these. So I'm going to go with this for number 2. After Hey Stoopid, or really after Poison, Hey Stoopid didn't sell quite as well, and then by the end of his contract with Epic Records here, he put out sort of a concept album. No big hits on here. One that he's played quite a few times in concert, had a cheesy music video for. And there was a comic book and everything that went with this. It's called The Last Temptation. And this is really an interesting collection of songs. Sideshow, I love Nothing's Free. You know, a bit of the Selling Your Soul vibe there. Whether it's you're talking about Shakespearean, you know, with Shylock, or you're talking about the devil or whatever, Nothing's Free, and it sort of touches on that. And then Lost in America was the song I was talking about, the sort of silly song. It just goes round and round. It's nonsensical, but it's fun. Bad Place Alone, You're My Temptation. Stolen Prayer is a really classic song. Unholy War, Lullaby, It's Me, and the closing song, Cleansed by Fire. There's a lot of talk of good versus evil on this. There's probably his deepest set of lyrics, I would argue, to this point. The back cover, and then the back cover in the CD too, pretty ominous there. You know what? And I'm kicking myself. They remastered this onto vinyl a little while ago, and I didn't get a copy, and I may still be able to find one. But yeah, number 2 out of 6, so that's ranking pretty high. Alice Cooper, Last Temptation from 1994. It also ended his partnership with Epic Records, which can only leave the last one chronologically, Brutal Planet. Now, I had the chance, I picked this copy up. It comes in a case and has a poster. I picked this up in London, England at, there's the poster. I picked this up in London, England at Virgin Megastore in 2000. So I had the opportunity to go there and to pick up this version of Alice's new album at the time. Was great. Contains exclusive poster, slipcase, and a screensaver on there that probably 21 years later probably doesn't work on our computers nowadays. This is Alice down-tuning, post-apocalyptic, take us right down into the lowest depths of humanity. The title track he still plays, and even though he plays it a lot in concert, I still love this song. Probably because it never got airplay like some of the other ones we're sick of. But Brutal Planet, I mean, it's slow, it's dirgy, it's bone-crunching. Wicked Young Man, kind of an interesting take on, and especially at the, as the year 2000 hit, as the millennium hit, there was a lot of look. Columbine had happened here in America. There was a lot of looking at why are some of these young men, particularly the metalheads, so angry. It's kind of a look into that. Sanctuary is really good. Blow Me a Kiss or Blow Me Away is really fun. Eat Some More, probably my favorite on here, or one of my 2 or 3 favorites, definitely, is Pick Up the Bones, about a guy who sort of survived the apocalypse, and he shows up back at his house and everybody's gone, but he's finding the remains, and it's eerie, it's creepy, it's a good Halloween song. Gimme, he puts himself in the place of the devil. To me, that's almost a sequel of Nothing's Free. It's the Little Things is hilarious. I'm not even going to try and sing or recite the lyrics for fear of getting them wrong, but you need to look up It's the Little Things by Alice. Perhaps the only weak spot on here, because it's sort of a second-rate version of Only Women Bleed, but Take It Like a Woman, and then the Cold Machines, the absolute just brutal ending to this album called Brutal Planet. I don't mean to keep using that word so much. But this is one, it ranked very low for me for a long time. And then 8, 10, 12 years ago, I started revisiting this, and something clicked in me. And the more I listened to it, the more, maybe the older I got, the more I understood the satire here, looking at humanity through a different lens. But this is a really great album. So from 1986 to 2000, he only released 6 CDs, 6 records. This was the last of those, and it's my favorite. There are 3 live documents from this time period, and I'm really, really, really annoyed with myself right now because I can't find one of them. I know I have it. I've had it for many, many years. I can't find it. So I'll start with that one. Brutally Live was recorded at, I believe, the Hammersmith Odeon in London in the fall of 2000 on the Brutal Planet tour. It has since been reissued as a DVD-CD combo. I'm really annoyed because I have an original DVD from 2000, but I may have to go ahead and get the remastered one just to... I've never felt I needed the CD, but if it comes with it, great. It is a phenomenal show. He had a crack band behind him. They were just killer. wide variety of a set list. Probably one of his last really great set lists, in my opinion. So I guess then we can sort of work our way backward. And this one was sort of this was very much a stopgap album. He signed with independent Guardian Records. I don't know if it's even still around. And I'm pretty sure this was a VH1 live special. It was recorded at Sammy Hagar's Cabo Wabo Cantina down in Mexico. It's a fun place. A Fistful of Alice, and it's come out under a couple of different names, but this is the original version of it from 1997 on Guardian Records. He has Slash, Rob Zombie, and a handful of others. It's a fun album, but Alice was, boy, there just wasn't a big draw for him. Yes, yep. So Sammy Hagar's on there, Rob Zombie, Slash. Yep. So that looks about it as far as the main guests. And the sound on here is okay. Maybe later versions clean it up a little bit. It's okay. It's a club recording. Unfortunately, a lot of legacy acts were not big concert draws at the time. They were forced to play very small venues. I know in the late 90s, one of my other favorite bands, Motorhead, they were lucky to play 500-seat venues in the States. Huge all over the world, yeah, but America just wasn't having the legacy bands. But so School's Out, 18, Desperado, Lost in America, Teenage Lament, 74, I Never Cry, Poison, $1 Billion Babies, Welcome to My Nightmare, Only Women Bleed, Feed My Frankenstein, Elected, and then the best song on here is the last one, a one-off studio recording called Is Anyone Home? Great song about sort of getting lost in the technological wave that was happening in the late 90s. So this is one, it's fine. I haven't touched it in years. This is the first time I pulled it off the shelf in a long time. It's interesting to hear. Maybe the footage would be better to see. Definitely not your first, second, or even third live Alice album that I would recommend. It's really for us weirdo completists who want everything. But it's okay. And then the first one, and again, I think this has been reissued with a CD involved since then, but it originally came out on VHS and then was put out on DVD in the early 90s, or early 2000s, 2006, which for me is still the early 2000s. The King of Shock is back, and this time it's with his triumphant 1987 concert video, digitally overhauled and released on DVD for the first time. This was at the iconic Cobo Hall in Detroit, Michigan. So many great shows. I only had the opportunity to go to Cobo Hall once. I'll talk about that in another episode. The sound in there was great. You could fit a lot of people, but it was close, and there were 3 tiers instead of 2. And it would have been amazing to see The Nightmare Returns, Alice Cooper, Boa Constrictor. He had Jason come out on stage as part of the whole Friday the 13th thing. Yeah, so just a bonus videos for Teenage Frankenstein and Freedom. Welcome to My Nightmare, $1 Billion Babies, No More Mr. Nice Guy, Be My Lover, 18, The World Needs Guts, Give It Up, Cold Ethel, Only Women Bleed, Go to Hell, Ballad of Dwight Fry, Teenage Frankenstein, Sick Things, I Love the Dead, School's Out, Elected, and Under My Wheels. Mostly hits at that point. By the time he got back into this, he was really overlooking that late 70s stuff that I talked about in my last video, that criminally overlooked and overrated, especially by Alice himself. That said, his voice was a little high on this one. Not as in tune as it could have been, but Alice has never been a technically great vocalist. The attitude was there, the show was there, the crowd was raucous. So it's a fun DVD. Again, essential? It depends how you look at it. Fun and worth having, or at least finding somewhere on a streaming platform. Definitely. Really good show. Alice was back with a vengeance here. So that's my ranking. I only have one left, and it'll be the last 20 years. There are, I think, 6 or 7. I can't remember without naming them off in my head. But I really look forward. Hopefully this introduces you to some stuff you haven't heard. I hope all my videos introduce you to things that if you haven't heard them, you want to go check them out. So please leave your ranking underneath. If you have them in a different order, you have different years involved. I love, love, love talking about music, even typing about it. So let me know what you think, and thank you for your attention. Thank you for all the compliments and the encouragement, and I look forward to doing one more for Alice Cooper really soon.